Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Saturday, April 8th, 2017 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is Om Kriyam Namah, which is my actions are aligned with cosmic law. And today, we really do want to make sure that we are finding aligned, actionable energy. We have the moon in Virgo, bringing attention to healing, bringing attention to the physical, and we'll get a little bit more into that a little bit. We're going to talk about the two more challenging aspects going on today. First, we have Venus square Saturn. So Venus and Saturn are both retrograde. So with both of these planets retrograde, this is an inward process. However, Saturn does bring our attention to the world. Saturn can bring our attention to the structure of things, to governments, and obviously there's a lot going on in the world right now for us to pay attention to. Venus brings our attention to beauty, to justice, to balance, to harmony. And this combination of these two really to me is like, don't let what's happening in the world shake you from your knowing of light, of love, of goodness, of beauty, of oneness. Venus is retrograde in Pisces, reminding us that we are all interconnected. And so I think this is one of the reasons why we do get so affected by these things that are happening in the world, because we are connected and something cannot happen to your brother without it on some level or another. And by brother, I don't necessarily mean blood brother or even a relative, but brother meaning somebody on the other side of the world who we are connected to in the web of life. Something can happen to them that doesn't in some way affect us. And so remembering that, whether it's your brother that you look upon with love, or whether it's your brother that you look upon with fear, or it's your brother that you look upon with hate, because let's be real, we all have those emotions going on at some point or another within us. However, what's happening in the world, you still have to remember your energy is a piece of the whole. So this is your opportunity to get clear. What kind of energy are you feeding into the oneness of all that is? What kind of energy are you feeding with your beliefs, that's Saturn and Sagittarius, with these truths that you hold evident within yourself? And then how do you work with these things to find that truth, to find the peace, to find the goodness? And to me, when I talk about truth, the only truth I am 100% sure of is love. Everything else to me is open for interpretation and is open for evolution. And even love, to be fair. I mean, I don't even know if we know the complete fullness of the love vibration in our human form. I think we're working on it, but I don't know if we're completely there. But still, that to me is the only truth. So, can you come back into your foundation of love, of justice, of peace, of harmony, of goodness, and remembering the oneness of all that is, and bring that to the world? Because I know the feeling of like, oh my gosh, so much is going on and I don't even know what I can do. You can always work on yourself. You can always make sure that you're being the truest version of yourself. You can always make sure that you're bringing the beauty that you love forward into the world as part of your life. This does make a difference. It makes a difference for everyone, even the people on the other side of the world. So this is your duty. This is your purpose. This is your work. This is your dharma. This is your karma. Om Kriyam Namah. But are you aligned with these things? Or are you getting aligned with these outside turbulent energies? Really interesting. I was talking to Nikki this morning, and she was saying, Nicole Oman, she does her daily things and she posts them on Gaia Blooming. And we do our GPS, and she was saying, it's really important. She was basically bringing forth grids of healing, but are you being a healing grid? Are you a healing point on the grid of the web of life? This is your opportunity with this connection. Now, there is that square, which brings forth the resistance. So you may feel that resistance to doing your inner work. It's really easy to focus outside of ourselves. It's really easy to see what's wrong outside of ourselves. It's really easy to place the blame outside of ourselves. However, we always do have the power to come back in, and those retrograde energies remind us the inner work is where this is out. Or where this is out, wow. Where this is at. So, I wish that was it. I wish that was that's your only tough thing, but there's more. So we talked yesterday about the cardinal T-square going on, and this is continuing today with the Sun squaring Pluto. So the Sun is squaring Pluto at 19 degrees. This is a 10 energy. And so we still have Jupiter hanging out at that 18 degree energy. So even though it's 18, 19, not that far away. So there's still this T-square energy forming, kind of pulling that opposition. And here we have Pluto. Pluto, the planet of transformation. Pluto, the planet of transformation in the sign of structure, in the sign of Capricorn. Government, laws, rules, the world, everything is in shift with this energy. And the Sun in Aries is lighting this up. Now, where we get to focus, again, is that Sun in Aries. This is about our personal I am vibration. Yes, we see all this stuff happening outside us, around in the world. But we all feed into this. So how are you going to feed into this? How are you going to transform yourself? How are you going to transform your structure? And you may say, Mimi, you say this a lot. Well, this has been ongoing, these things. And so I'm going to keep repeating the message as the universe brings it up through these astro connections. But we have this resistance. And the resistance could be, I feel like I've done all my work. You're never going to get it done. It's, there's always deeper to go. And if you're not in that state of like peace, love, harmony, light, which I believe we can get to, but we all have those moments where we're not in them. I mean, be honest, I'm a very peaceful person overall, and I have those moments where I'm not. And so it's seeking out those places and finding those places and bringing healing and bringing our light to those places and bringing our personal understanding to these places. You may feel like lashing out. You may feel like lashing out at figures with power, powers that be, whether it is government or whether it is in your own family structure or even in the social structure. That may come up. Again, I think, getting back to the beginning of Aries when I was talking about being the rebel, to me, if you're lashing out, there's, again, this pulls back to your own personal resistance, that there's something in you that's telling you that you can't be you. And so being a rebel to me is not necessarily doing things just to rebel, just to be rebellious, just to piss off the authority. To me, to be a true rebel is to I'm going to march to the beat of my drum. I'm going to do these things that are true to me because this is what's true to me. And so I think we have an opportunity in this to practice our self-love, our self-knowledge, our self-worth to such an extent. Mercury is going retrograde. These words are hard. To such an extent that we can move through these things and just honor it. I'm marching to the beat of my own drum. I'm in tune with my soul. I do want to mention an interesting thing that's been coming up. I think a lot of us still, when we're thinking that we're moving from our soul, we are still sometimes moving from soul wounding. And I've been seeing that come up quite a bit lately with various people that I'm talking to. And I think that part of this retrograde energy is helping us get into that. I also feel like this Saturn-Venus thing is going to be working with Chiron. Chiron's at 26. Their meeting is at 27. So Chiron's bringing some major healing into this. And the moon tomorrow, moon in Virgo, is going to be matching that too. So just notice if there's any of that victim energy that's still coming forward, even as you feel like you're moving from that aligned soul place. Because sometimes it feels like soul. And I'm not going to tell you that it's not soul. It's not up to me to tell you whether it is or not. But a lot of times, one of the practices I do is soul recovery. And so all of us have gone through some level of trauma, here, there, anywhere. And from those places where we've gone through those traumas, we leave these little pieces of our light. And so sometimes from that place, we put in prosthetic pieces of soul. I don't know if that's the word, but we put in things to help us. Like when you hurt your physical body and suddenly you walk with a limp, it's kind of like that. And so sometimes we're acting with that place of soul wholeness instead of the full soul, if that makes sense. I hope this is making sense to you. It's hard to translate the feelings into the words, but this is what's coming. This is what's coming forward. So really recognize that. And again, that's a place to dig in and do the work. Where is this feeling? Where is this potential trauma coming from? If you're not in peace and in love in yourself, If you're not feeling like in your flow, if you feel it, it's like sometimes it's just like this tiny little like splinter that's there. It's so tiny, but you're like, it's there, I'm not comfortable. Be willing to dive in, dig in. This is such a good time to do this reflective work. And supporting us in this is the moon in Virgo, bringing us into ourselves, into our physical body, into this antenna, which is taking in all the stimulus. So listen to that. That moon is meeting up with Pluto, supporting this Pluto process. And this reminds me of the mantra, Om Priyam Namah. Everything is aligned in cosmic law. I do believe everything's working out for us. Am I happy with the way the universe has it working out? No, because there's a part of me, a wounded part of me, that still thinks it knows better. Let's be fair. It's there. I'll be honest. However, I also hold that belief. Everything is working out. And my best thing that I can do is show up in me and keep healing that part of me that thinks it knows better, because that's one of those wounded places, to be fair. The moon is also going to meet up with Taurus, and Taurus connecting to Chiron. Or not Chiron, sorry, Ceres. Ceres, which is the asteroid of mothering, nurturing. And so we've got to nurture ourselves, and we've got to nurture each other through these experiences. Nurture your physical body. Listen to your physical body. Part of reclaiming the feminine energy is attuning to the physical body and not just analyzing what's going on in the physical body, but really feeling into what's going on in this physical body. So this connection with Ceres is allowing us to really feel in and through this to bring this healing. Now, I do want to mention, tomorrow, Mercury is going retrograde. So on Sunday, Mercury will be retrograde. So technology, wonk, communications, especially with these tougher aspects, try to be clear in your communications. I love the 3 gates. Is it kind? Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it for you? Or is this just for me? I like to add those on. Let's make it 5 gates. Because sometimes it is kind, it is true, it is necessary, but it's not necessary for them. It's not actually needed for them. This is just something that you need to come to within yourself. So, what are we doing with the cards? Oh, this is where we can go into this grounded, feeling, flowering energy. But we've got to move through our conditioning. We're holding ourselves out of this peace, out of the love, out of the beauty of things, because we're stuck in this conditioning. We're stuck in the realm of sheep. But we've got to be the lion. We've got to break through that suppression. It has been easier to go with the flow. It has been easier to be a sheep, but it's been easier on the outside. Meanwhile, it brings suffering on the inside. So just realize, where have you been suppressing yourself? Where have you been holding yourself back from that bright new future? There are possibilities for you. This is the possibility of really flowering into yourself, coming into your full expression of yourself. And I love this card. I don't know if you can see it, but around her neck, she wears the planets. That's like the full expression of all the archetypes coming forth within you. Now, to finish, I've got Swan energy. Effortless creativity, sensitive, mystic, elegance, power. And one of the things it says in Swan is, when Swan card appears, your soul is calling for attention for solo time. An inner voice is waiting to be heard. An inner vision is likely to be revealed. Spend some time in solitude, in silence, connecting in. You may find that there's some of this soul recovery energy to be done at this time for yourself, so that you're not acting from that wounded soul place. Because I just think it happens more often than we're aware of. Like, yeah, I am soul. I am moving forward as soul. And you are. But there's still this thing. And that awareness can change the game. As we all in our consciousness step up and grow, we heal ourselves, and every little bit that we do heals others. So, spend some time alone, work on your personal healing. It does change the world. It does. And I know you may not see it instantly the way we like it as humans, but it does make a difference. And I appreciate all of you for all of the work that you're doing for our world. So, that's it for today, Book of Reading. If you want to dive deeper into your personal chart, I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.